Hey guys, what is happening? I just wanted to take some time and test out what it would look like to do some painting in my current setup, which technically works but isn't ideal. Hopefully after I move it'll be decent and appropriate for the situation. But anyway, I just figured I'd base up some of my infiltrators here, finish up these models and ship them off, and just talk to you guys about a couple things. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Toast, you should use a wet palette. Wet palettes are great, Toast. Why aren't you using a wet palette? And the thing is, I usually do. I often use a wet palette for most of my painting, but in this case, it was only using a couple colors on a short project with metallic involved as well, which I don't want to put on my wet palette anyway. So I just decided to bust out the normal one. And, you know, I wasn't going to save these paints overnight, and I didn't really need to focus that much on dilution for just the bases, so it didn't really end up being that big of a problem anyway. One thing I would like to point out here though is that I always mix all of my colors. I really only have kind of the most basic colors involved. You can see here I just have blue, gray, and black, and that's how I get my sort of base color going here, but that's also true for the other colors I use in my army. I mix white and gray for the normal coats. I mix orange and gray occasionally. I mean, I don't have that many colors in my army, so that's about as far as it goes. But mixing colors, especially if you have these sort of dropper style bottles, is actually an extremely easy thing to do and a great way to save money on paints. You don't need to buy, you know, 15 different purples so you can handle all of your highlights and your shading. You can just buy all purple, if that, or if you want to mix your own purple, you can mix red and blue, and then add progressive amounts of white, black, or even other lighter and darker colors like darker reds, or, you know, a light yellow to add some sort of like contrasting ability to it. There's a million ways to mix paints, and it's really not that hard to do. All you really need to get started is sort of the Roy G. Biv of this situation, or not even that. You technically only need yellow, red, and blue to get every pretty much possible color in primary painting. But that is a little bit... It can be nice to have a consistent orange, it can be nice to have a consistent purple and green, etc. That is where I try to save my money with painting, and I would recommend that you guys try it out too. If you're using like Citadel Games Workshop potted paints, a lot harder to mix colors because you can't really write down a precise ratio. I write down all of my color recipes and label them, so it's like 3 drops of gray, 1 drop of black, 1 drop of blue, etc. For this base color, my black is kind of messed up at the moment. It's in a really weird kind of watered down state, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. There's some sort of paint separation happening there, I think. So that is kind of messing up the ratio, but I eventually get it to a place where it works out all right. And for these bases, I'm not really worried about, you know, thinning down the paints too much. It's just the base. I can be a little bit messy with it. You'll even see I get it on the guy's legs a little bit, but that's because we cover it up in a later step anyway. So I'm building these infiltrators because, well, they're things that need to be painted, of course, but also to complete my kill team. I did go out and purchase the white dwarf I mentioned in my last episode. Link above if you want to check that out. And I know what you're thinking now, that you have watched that episode and come back. You're like, Toasty, you were just complaining about new kill team. Why do you want to play the new kill team? And I want to say that, like, it's okay to complain and dislike certain aspects of things and like others. The core gameplay of the new kill team looks super fun. I really enjoy what they did with the rules to distinguish it from 40k and really kind of make it its own unique thing that is both fun and interesting and engaging. The rule set of the game, the mechanics of the game, seem really solid. The thing that bugs me is the choice of factions is really kind of subpar right now. I am lucky. I got the Hunter Clade kill team in the latest White Dwarf, but a lot of other factions of very, very popular sort of aspects of 40k, you know, Space Marines, Chaos, things like that. They don't have the same wealth of options that would come with the box set kill teams or the White Dwarf kill teams, assuming this is a trend that continues. And I just think it's kind of a bummer. I like special rules. I like special abilities. I like feeling like my guys are unique and can actually like do cool things rather than just carry around a gun or a sword and hit people with it. So yeah, I'm in a mixed place regarding kill team, but I still want to try it out, you know? It still looks promising as a game in of itself, and hopefully a couple years down the line, hopefully less than a couple, they'll you know, get some of the factions in order. They'll give some players some more options. They'll give people kind of what they want in regards to that. But that being said, my kill team is going to have an infiltrator in it, so I want to paint up my infiltrators so I can field them. And as I get to sort of the dry brushing stage of things, you can see that I'm just kind of not even being careful at all, and in fact intentionally putting a lot of the dry brushing onto their legs and their feet and some of their robes and cables and things. And I've seen this mentioned before when discussing Grimdark painting style, which is kind of what I think of my own painting style as, is that they blend the base into the model, which I think is kind of a misnomer. The reason I'm dry brushing this stuff is because this is a dusty planet surface, and the surface of the planet is going to be kicked up into those things, into their legs, onto their feet, into their cloaks. Anything that's kind of close to the ground, you're going to be seeing dust come up on that because of the surface composition of the planet that they're on. And that's true among, you know, not just my models specifically, but like a lot of other models. You'll find that they're kind of in like these dusty, blown out areas, and they're gonna have dust gather on them because they live and interact in this world. And that's part of the Grimdark aesthetic, is sort of this feeling of what I believe was coined for the Star Wars film series of a lived-in universe. Things are used in the world, they interact with the world, and they pick up rust, they pick up grime and dirt and dust and all of these other sort of things because they interact in the world. These are not your, you know, Lamborghini show floor models. These guys have been out in the field for 2 months following a target, you know? These are soldiers. They're not going to be in pristine condition all the time. And that is really, I think, one of the sort of, aside from the sort of like Warhammer specific Grimdark aspect to things, that is just another thing that exists that adds a really good degree of realism to your models and believability, that they've actually kind of been in this world, interacting with it and in the environment. So I like to add that as kind of a nice flourish, and it does in fact tie together the model and the base a little bit more as well, even just from a pure color perspective. But anyway, I'm finishing up these guys with a little bit of gold, as I do for all of the ore on their bases. And you know, I don't really know if I have a whole lot other to say, but let's take a look at these finished infiltrators. And you know what? Well, let's do the kill team too. But that's all I have for you guys today, so thank you for hanging out as always, and I will see you next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. Don't miss a video. Next week, I think we'll have a lore review coming up, even though I just said that I wasn't sure if I was going to keep doing lore reviews. I got at least one still in the pipeline, so that's going to come out. And then I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. It's getting a little bit dicey with the move at this point, but hopefully there won't be too many missed opportunities or missed weeks or anything like that. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.